Welcome to the Cabral Concept, where board-certified Doctor of Naturopathy, Dr. Stephen Cabral, shares with you exactly how you can reverse aging, take back your health, and live a life full of energy and passion, with new 20-minute episodes every single day to keep you healthy and engaged. Now, here's your host, Dr. Stephen Cabral.
Hey everybody, welcome back to the show. Love being able to bring you these daily Cabral Concept podcasts. My goal each and every day is to bring you something new from the integrative health and functional medicine based industry. And that could be mindset on Mondays, functional medicine based knowledge, maybe it's at-home lab testing or something like meditation for today's show. But what I want to do is always bring you something new that you can start to build as your foundation for natural health. Natural health is not something that's static. There is no, end of the rainbow, end of the tunnel that you get to. Integrative health is always expanding. So we have Ayurvedic medicine maybe at the forefront, maybe in the middle, because that is the oldest form of medicine that everything grew from. And then we might have traditional Chinese medicine, and then we might have bioregulatory medicine. We have acupuncture. We have so many great things. And so it's an endless stream to be able to drink from in terms of knowledge. But one of the things that I want to share with you is that no natural health-based practice or study or knowledge base is complete without learning a little bit about the mind. And today I want to share with you why so many people are into meditation. And if you've never thought about trying it before, why, or if you tried it before but got away from it, why you might want to get back. So I'm going to give you the actual science behind it. And I have no doubt that one of these findings is going to resonate with you. So here we go. We're going to get started. This is out of the Mayo Clinic, and really powerful stuff. It really is. And again, I want you to keep in mind that I'm not someone that can take 1 hour a day and sit down and meditate either. So if you're like me and you don't have an extra hour to be able to do this, I'm telling you right now, the studies show 10 minutes to 20 minutes, so 10 minutes twice a day, or 20 minutes total at a sitting, will get you remarkable results in overall health, anxiety, mood, energy, and so much more, including longevity and anti-aging. All right, let's always give credit where credit's due. This one is written by Dr. Bauer out of the Mayo Clinic, okay? So I'm going to break it down for you right now. Let's say you don't know what meditation is. Well, there are lots of thoughts about what meditation is. The typical one that you might think about is someone seated, cross-legged, with their eyes closed, maybe their middle finger or their ring finger, or maybe even two fingers touching their thumb, and breathing in through their nose and out through their nose or out through their mouth very gently. That is one form of meditation, and it's fantastic. So there's a great way to do it. But there's also different forms of meditation. You might even be going for a walk sometimes. You might just be seated in a chair. The goal is this, though, is to quiet the mind, or it's to contemplate one thought without the anxiety and the racing mind around it. Meditation is about channeling your thoughts or dissolving self, becoming nobody. I know that might sound strange, but it's getting rid of the I that is the one that's thinking the thoughts, right? So it's just thoughts come into your brain and you allow them to come in and then wash away just like a wave. That's the goal. Another wave comes in, you let it break and move out of your mind. And the article today, or the bullets that I'll be giving you today, will take you through this and how it translates then to the rest of your life, which again, I find completely remarkable. All right, so here's the first one. Research indicates that meditation is remarkably effective for managing stress. Scientists have found that meditation induces changes in the brain and nervous system that help move the body from fight or flight mode to rest and digest, which the heart rate begins then to slow and it calms the body. All right, well, what does that mean? It means this, that our body's heart rates, sweating, tension in the body, headaches, migraines, poor blood flow to the feet and the hands can all be caused by stress, by fight or flight, even digestive issues, hormonal imbalances. So what meditation does is it relaxes the mind, which is connected to the nervous system. So if we look at this from an anatomical perspective, your brain, which has the different lobes of the brain, right? Frontal lobe, temporal lobe, etc., They connect in the back of the brain near the cerebellum to a brainstem, to the spinal cord, which then moves down through your vertebrae, which is your spine. And then there are little nerves that come off of it. And those nerves innervate the different parts of your body, like your muscles and your heart rate, etc. Well, if we can calm those nerves, literally calming your nerves, right? Then what happens? Well, we remove the fight or flight. Well, what happens if we remove fight or flight? We remove the anxiety. We remove the worry, right? The angst, the overwhelm. Pretty remarkable. And meditation teaches us to do that as a practice. All right, here's the next one. Studies show that regular medicine or meditation practice rewires the brain by increasing the size of the hippocampus, the part of the brain that controls learning and memory and plays an important role in regulating emotions. Individuals who sit quietly in meditation for just 1 hour per week report that they're more content and joyful. Amazing, right? Just 1 hour total per week. That to me seems like 20 minutes, 3 times a week. All right, the next one is this. Mindfulness, which is just one form of meditation, we'll get into that in just 1 second, is the practice of purposely focusing on the present moment without evaluation of judgment. Mindfulness-based stress reduction, which you can look into and I'll talk more about, MBSR, mindfulness-based stress reduction, is a program that offers mindfulness training to assist in the management of stress, anxiety, depression, and pain. In one small study, researchers concluded that participating in an 8-week MBSR program increased the cortical thickness of the hippocampus. Okay, we already know that the hippocampus, which by the way, I just taught this inside of High Performance Health, it shrinks about 1 to 2% per year as an adult, leading then to dementia and Alzheimer's, unless we begin to lower cortisol levels, stress levels, pay attention to healthy nutrition, exercise, mindfulness. So mindfulness is this. The simplest way I can always teach people about being mindful is this. Let's not focus on the past or worry about the future, and instead take care of the present. So if we can focus on what is actually happening right now, not what happened in the past or what may happen in the future, but instead, what is actually happening right now? We can begin to take that sigh of relief. Okay, sure, there are things that could happen in the future that are negative, but there are also things that could happen in the future that are positive, right? It's hard to think about that when we're not calm in the present because our heart's racing, we're breathing through our mouth, we're holding our breath, HRV's dropping, all these things, right? Or we're worried about the past. What if the past is a predictor of the future? Well, it doesn't have to be that way if we focus on the present, where in the present, we get to make new decisions if we choose to. All right, the next part is this. Another area of the brain that meditation affects is called the amygdala, which is the middle of the brain next to the hippocampus. The amygdala is primarily involved in processing emotions and memories associated with fear. When you feel threatened, the amygdala sends information that prepares your body to either face the situation, which is fight, or avoid it, which is flight. This is amazing because the people that I know who meditate the most are the most calm, under pressure, or they're not taken by surprise. And this is a great explanation that you can actually strengthen and improve the balance of the amygdala. So you're not living in constant fear. Remember, a person that lives in fear and they live in fight or flight is someone where you tap them on the shoulder or you just call their name and they jump, right? We know those people because their nervous system is so heightened due to fear of what may go wrong and worry that they just can snap, that they can just break down emotionally. Those people are showing signs of a strained amygdala. How do we solve that? By going within, by moving ourselves to the present through mindfulness. But how do we do that? Through quieting the mind, through temporary moments throughout our day, using meditation. All right, let me give you just a couple more. I want to go over the aging brain. So people that are pretty good mood-wise, let's look at the brain. I just taught this in module 7 of High Performance Health. So 2015 study indicates that regular meditation might preserve the brain's gray matter as a person ages. Gray matter makes up the outermost layer of the brain and plays a significant role in all aspects of human life. It contains a large number of neurons and is involved in sensory perception, speech, and decision-making that allows individuals to control their movement, memory, and emotions. In the study, researchers compared the brains of those who meditated regularly over 20 years with the brains of those who didn't meditate. Although both groups showed a somewhat loss of gray matter as they aged, the loss was far more pronounced in non-meditators. And the reason why I want to share with you this is that I actually showed the brains of people, normal age brain at 79 years or 80 years old, and then someone with Alzheimer's disease at 80 years old. The brain was almost half the size. It had dramatically shrunken. And when you light it up on what's called a PET, a specific type of brain scan, you could show the person with advanced stage Alzheimer's, the brain is not lighting up very much. It means there's very little electrical activity. The memory, the balance, the movement, the emotions, the speech, the sensory perception, it just isn't there. The brain is literally not even there anymore. The brain shrinks by 25%, sometimes 50%. There are holes in the brain when you look at cross sections of the brain on an autopsy with someone with autism, with Alzheimer's disease, and it's unbelievable. And so what we can do though is we can say, okay, there's not one Alzheimer's is not caused just by stress, right? It's only one causal factor, but we know that if you follow a protocol that looks at I've talked about this before, called The End of Alzheimer's. If you want to look up the podcast, we can link those up for you as well. If you go to stephencabral.com/2727, what I can do is I can link up a bunch of my shows on Alzheimer's if you'd like. I'm happy to do that. We also teach that, like I said, inside of HPH of how to prevent it, because there are lab tests that you can run for decades in advance early detection. And then there are protocols that you can do that are scientifically proven to reverse it. So I don't want people to worry about Alzheimer's. You can for sure halt it. You can find it early before it's even showing up, like in any type of speech or movement or any of those things, and then you can reverse it. At the end, these things are scientifically proven, and I'm happy to share that with you, and I've done so on the podcast. All right, absolutely remarkable. Let me just give you one more. I'm going to give you one more. So a lot of people are dealing with what we call it's actually referred to in psychology as the monkey mind. It just means the wandering mind, the mind that is always filled with racing thoughts, and it's hard to turn off. So what they found is, and this is it's called the default mode network, DMN. And sometimes what happens is the default mode network of our brain is set to racing thoughts, worry, irritability, overwhelm, so many things could go wrong, living in fear, right? So fight or flight. But what meditation does is it helps people, again, come back to this present moment. The number one thing that I do with my meditation is I just focus on my breath. It is because it's difficult to focus on absolutely nothing, because when you focus on nothing, you're still focused on thinking of nothing, right? So I go back to my breath. Some people light a candle and they just focus on the flame. Whatever you do, focus on that one thing. If you're focused on one thing, you cannot be focused on the 50 things that are going through your mind at the same time, right? So this then changes the default mode network to slowing. It's the equivalent to someone like me, and you open up your computer for the day and you have 50 internet browsers open, like 50 tabs on your internet browser, which is what I do. I'm not saying do that, you should not do that. But what it does is there's a program called One Tab. You press the One Tab and it takes all those 50 and it puts them into one category that you can go look at later if you choose to. That's what meditation is. It changes your default mode network. And you can actually see someone who goes from the racing mind to then meditating, and you can look at this under an MRI, and you can actually see a calming of the brainwave activity. And they showed, and this is the exact quote, results indicate that those who meditate have more stability in what's called the ventral posterior medial cortex, which is the region of the brain linked to spontaneous thoughts and mind wandering. They have greater control of it without even trying to control it. They don't have those racing thoughts because they are no longer in a state of worry, fear, anxiety, overwhelm, irritability. So if you are someone that's looking for the anti-aging benefits, or someone who's looking to get out of that racing mind, I can't recommend enough finding a meditation practice that fits you. And there are so many different types. Simply find one that seems to resonate with you and then try to do it just for 10 minutes on a daily basis. The best times to do it are the time that you have, of course, but the absolute best times, if you can find the time, are upon waking or before you start your hectic day, and then before bed to quiet that default mode network to get a good, calm, resting, and rejuvenating night's sleep. Hopefully today's show was helpful. Head on over to stephencabral.com/2727 for all of today's details and show note takeaways. Are you ready to heal yourself and then go on to heal others? If so, the Integrative Health Practitioner Institute can help you discover proven functional medicine protocols that blend the best of 7 different healing disciplines from around the world. I personally share with you the exact handouts and protocols I use in my private practice that enable people to get well, lose the weight, and live longer, stronger. I want to pass this information on to the next generation of health coaches, and that is exactly why I created IHP. We are the future of the health coaching industry, and the skills and knowledge you will learn will make you an in-demand certified health coach anywhere in the world. Although we have many medical professionals taking the IHP certifications, no experience is necessary, and half our members have no previous health certifications. At the Integrative Health Practitioner Institute, our motto is a health coach in every home. Our goal is that you take this knowledge and then share it with family, friends, loved ones, your community, or in a practice where you create a career you love and can be proud of. The global IHP community is filled with some of the most kind and caring people in the world, and we can't wait to welcome you into our world soon. For more information or to set up a discovery call with one of our IHP Health Coach graduates, simply head over to integrativehealthpractitioner.org.